We are summer school at Monday. I Jenny, we are CNN 10. This a football player. Hey coach, nice video. I use my drone to capture game film. Which drone are you using?
As of 2023, the most recent franchise to become defunct was the Dallas Texans in 1952, which folded after playing one season. However, even before the Texans had played their last game, the NFL had awarded a new franchise to an ownership group in Baltimore which acquired the Texans' player contracts and other assets. It was until much later, 1906, that forward passing was allowed. So because the American game was really just another form of the European football games, it too became known as football. There are all sorts of reasons people will cite for soccer's failure to fully take off in the US: the lackluster performance of men's national team, TV rights limitations, the superiority of the women's national team, Major League Soccer, MLS, or even Jurgen Klinsmann. Football has the most participants of any sport at both high school and college levels, the vast majority of its participants being male. The NFL is the preeminent professional football league in the United States. The NFL has 32 franchises divided into 2 conferences. With 3.5 billion fans around the world, soccer is the one sport that pretty much the whole world can agree upon can be claimed the most viewed sports in the world. With its combination of adrenaline-pumping excitement, man-on-man aggression, tough competition, it's really no wonder it comes on top. CNN Washington, D.C.
10-second trivia. What is New Zealand? Kia. Kia takes GoPro, Kia mountain backpack, Kia takes police car, Kia Red Bull. Kia mountain backpack, New Zealand parrots. When the parrots win the backpack. There are parrots that totally break the stereotypes. The Kias in New Zealand just love snow and the cold, harsh mountain climate. To survive here, these mountain parrots have developed exceptional
intelligence and resourcefulness. However, for quite some time now, the mountains have been attracting humans and other animals, too, and this has opened a new playground for the birds' intellectual abilities. They explore and investigate, they burn with curiosity and never get easily ambushed. But despite their extraordinary wit, they are in danger. No one knows how long the species will manage to survive. There are parrots that totally break the stereotypes. The Kias in New Zealand just love snow and the cold, harsh mountain climate. To survive here, these mountain parrots have developed exceptional intelligence and resourcefulness. However, for quite some time now, the mountains have been attracting humans and other animals, too, and this has opened a new playground for the birds' intellectual abilities. They explore and investigate, they burn with curiosity and never get easily ambushed. But despite their extraordinary wit, they are in danger. No one knows how long the species will manage to survive. The conservationists are doing all they can to make sure these awesome feathered friends survive. CNN New Zealand.
Next, when the Rise, the NASA and rocket ship. Space Shuttle Atlantis and its 6-member crew began an 11-day delivery flight to the International Space Station.
Sound suppression water system now being armed for release. Confirmation we have 3 main engines ready for ignition. Space Shuttle now on internal power. Liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen fill and drain valves are closed. Solid rocket booster flight data recorders are activated. And the handoff to Atlantis' onboard computers. Atlantis now in control of the countdown.
20,
Firing chain is armed. Sound suppression water system activated. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1, 0. And liftoff of Space Shuttle Atlantis on a mission to build, resupply, and to do research on the International Space Station.
Houston now controlling. Atlantis begins its penultimate journey to shore up the International Space Station. Atlantis now in the proper alignment for its 8.5-minute ride to orbit. 4.5 million pounds of hardware and humans taking aim on the International Outpost. 30 seconds into the flight. Atlantis almost 2 miles in altitude, almost 6 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center already, traveling 500 miles an hour. The 3 liquid fuel main engines now throttling back to 72% of rated performance, going into the bucket, reducing the stress on the shuttle as it breaks through the sound barrier. 55 seconds into the flight, all systems operating normally, 900 miles an hour. The speed of Atlantis right now, 6 miles in altitude, 9 miles downrange.
Atlantis, go with throttle up.
Copy, go with throttle up.
The throttle up call acknowledged by Commander Charlie Hobaugh, joined on the flight deck by pilot Butch Wilmore, flight engineer Randy Bresnik, and Leland Melvin. Seated down on the middeck are Mike Foreman and Bobby Satcher, kicking off their work week with a Monday commute to orbit. 1 minute, 30 seconds into the flight. Atlantis 13 miles in altitude, 15 miles downrange, traveling almost 2,000 miles an hour. Three good auxiliary power units, 3 good fuel cells, 3 good main engines. One minute, 50 seconds into the flight. 10 seconds away from solid rocket booster separation. Booster officer confirms staging a good solid rocket booster separation. Guidance now converging. Atlantis steering into the center lane of Highway 129 en route to the International Space Station. 2 minutes, 20 seconds into the flight, 34 miles in altitude, 48 miles downrange. Atlantis traveling 3,200 miles an hour. The propulsion officer in Mission Control reports that the orbital maneuvering system engines have ignited. Atlantis kicking on the afterburners.
Copy, 2 engine down.
Atlantis flying on the singular power of its 3 liquid fuel main engines, draining about a half a ton of fuel per second from the large fuel tank. Coming up on the 3-minute mark into the flight, Atlantis 46 miles in altitude, 81 miles downrange, traveling almost 4,000 miles an hour. Atlantis speeding straight as an arrow toward its date with the International Space Station Wednesday morning.
Today, 10 out of 10, The Lion King, 1994, Stampede. Because what happened sits at the heart of the Lion King story is the ability to forgive ourselves for the past, the mistakes we have made and the things we can't change, and look to the future with pride at how far we've come on our journey, and how much more there is to learn and experience in the world around. The Lion King was released on June 15, 1994. Jenny, great to see your CNN.